Here are some numbers that I think about often, like all the time. Roughly 4 out of 5 businesses in this country have no employees, just the owner doing everything alone. That's a lot. And that's a lot for American business. But that's not the worst of it. For Black owned businesses, that number is even higher. It's around 95, 96% of Black owned businesses that have no employees, compared to 78% for white owned businesses. This is a real gap. It means we are staying solo longer and often without the systems in place to make the next step possible. And to really drill this home and to understand the impact of what this gap costs, roughly 40% of Black women leaders report feeling burned out, compared to 28% of white women. Staying solo longer is not free. It costs us something. It shows up in our bodies and in our energy. And that is not about who works harder. It is about who has access to the operational tools, the systems, and the support to build past solo. And that is exactly the gap I built Leadership Shift to close. You are the one holding the business together right now. Every single decision comes through you. Every fire gets put out by you. And some days that feels like proof you are needed. Other days it feels like you can't breathe, like you're suffocating. You can't even take a vacation without being connected to a phone, a laptop, or something. And if that is where you are, this short episode is for you. Welcome to Leveraging Operations and Leadership, the show that bridges the gap between how your business runs and how you show up as a leader. I'm Tanya D. Harrison, founder of Signal Partners. Today is a quick one. I want to tell you why I built the Leadership Shift, and I want to tell you that it is open right now. So I built the Leadership Shift because I kept watching extremely talented solopreneurs hit the same wall that I hit when I was in corporate, the same wall that I hit when I started my business. And they are good at their work, like great. The people that I work with are extremely talented. They are very talented. They have clients, they have momentum. This isn't about a lack of effort, but everything lives in their head or is manual, or they're not spending enough time in the right zones because they just don't know. It's so much to do, right? When you have no documented processes and no delivery system for anyone else to run, it's hard to think about bringing on help. So growth feels like a threat instead of a goal, because the more clients that you bring on without these systems and without this support, it means more chaos faster. I did not build this program to teach you how to do more. Let's be clear. I built it to help you build the foundation that lets you do less of the wrong things so that the business can hold the weight without you carrying all of it alone. That is the shift from doing everything yourself, from being the all-out doer to leading something that can run with intention. It doesn't mean that you don't have to show up. It means that the way you show up is going to look different. The Leadership Shift is a 3-month guided implementation program for service-based business owners, solopreneurs, and micro business owners. So even if you have a VA or a contractor, this would still be a good fit. But this is for those business owners who are ready to build the operational foundation the systems and the leadership structure their business needs, especially if they are getting close to their first hire or next hire. Over the course of 6 modules, and each one unlocks after you complete a real deliverable or reflection in your business. So this isn't about just learning concepts. You're actually building the actual systems as you go. We move through leadership clarity, documenting your processes, building delivery systems, getting ready to hire, setting up the right tech and automation, and closing with your 90-day operational plan. You're not doing it alone. That is the biggest benefit to this. We have biweekly Shift Live group clinics. That's where we get together. You can submit your questions ahead of time, and we're going to answer those questions during the session. You get feedback throughout. So like you submit your client journey workflow, and then I send you feedback on that. You submit your 90-day operational plan. We have a one-on-one meeting about that. You're getting touch points along the way, aside from the Shift Live meeting. And then also we have weekly coworking sessions, and this is for you to hold space to work on the things that you need to work on. We need to start building better habits, which means that you have to set aside time to actually do some of these things. So if you have been the bottleneck in your business for a while, this was built for exactly that moment that you are in, this season that you are in. Here's the one thing that I want to caution you. This is for people who are serious and ready. Again, this isn't I'm just going to go through and get all of the information and do nothing in my business. That's not what this is. So you have to be ready to work. You have to be ready to put in the work and the commitment to getting things done. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you, and you feel like you need this in your business, then you can go ahead and you can join. I'm going to leave the information in the show notes because enrollment is officially open. And let me say, if you're not sure yet whether this is the right move, then go to the website, look at it, see if it looks like something, but don't buy. And I know that's going to sound weird, but I don't want you to get something that you are not going to go all out in. And because in order for you to get everything that I want you to get out of this program, that means that you have to bring everything to the table. And I want to work with people who are ready for that next level. The other thing I want to say is that when I say enrollment is open, it's open. There's no cart that's closing like with, some of the other programs. That's not how this works. However, I will say this price that it is the lowest price that is going to be. And it's only going to be available for the first 10 seats. After that, the price will increase. So this is not a time sensitive thing where, if you don't get in this week, no, the program is not going away. That's not what this is about. However, in order to get the best pricing, you do want to go ahead and act. But the program is here when you are ready to do the work. All right. So that is it. If this episode names something that you have been feeling, go and check it out or send it to another business owner who needs to hear it. This is the best way to help more leaders find the show and find the program. I will talk to you in the next episode.